Hey guys, the weather was so good today, I thought we can go outside and take some photos. So we're gonna take some backplates and HDRs. I recreated this, or I created this image, I didn't recreate it. I created this image using these HDRs and these backplates I took today. So I'm going to show you how to take your own HDR, your own backplates, and the coolest part is you're not going to need a camera or any fancy equipment. You're just going to need your mobile phone and Google Street View. So that's how we're going to stitch the 360 image. So yeah, we're just going to go outside, look for a cool location, and start taking photos. So now that we found our location, I thought this was a pretty nice location. It's in the center of Berlin. Just gonna whip out your Streetview app and start taking photos like there's no tomorrow. So you just do whatever the app tells you. You just spin in circles, take a lot of photos. And also on a side note, did anyone guess what car I was actually driving? If you can guess what it is, just comment below. I wonder how many know what it was. So yeah, just keep on taking photos. So now I'm just running around taking some backplate photos. So backplate photos are nothing else than photos. So I'm just taking a few different ones in different focal lengths. So zoomed out, zoomed in, some different locations because I don't know yet what will look good. So try to take too many. And actually this last shot is the one we're going to use. So as you can see, it's good that I took quite a few photos because the last photo was actually the coolest, I thought. Or not the very last, but almost the last location I took the photos from. So once you're happy with your photos, just let the 360 image get stitched by the Street View as well. So, and then you have to save it. Then I'm just going to drive home. And then we're going to jump right into Blender. So here we are in Blender. Here I've got a Honda E car. I had it laying around and it was already like fully shaded, so I thought why not use this. So first we're just going to import our HDR. And when I say HDR, I'm actually not talking about a real high dynamic range image. So what I'm talking about is just a 360 degree JPEG image, so it's not high dynamic range. So I'm probably going to say HDR quite a few times in this video, but it's actually just a JPEG. But what I mean by that is a 360 image. So just import it, load it in, and as you see, like it already looks pretty good. But the biggest downside of not having high dynamic range in your image is that there's no shadow. So it's just the light is the same all around, so the sun isn't brighter than other spots on the image. It's all pretty much the same brightness, only white is brighter than black, of course, but otherwise it's pretty much the same light. So what we're going to do here, we're going to create a sunlight to get our shadow. We're basically just going to match up the sunlight with the with your HDR image, so with your 360 JPEG. So I'm just going to top view, changing the focal length so I can see the shadow of the sign on the upper right corner. So you see, I can see the direction of the shadow. So I'm just going to match it up with my light. Once matched up, I'm going to play around with the angle of the light. So I'm just going to create a plane real quick. And I'm just doing the angle by eye, so I'm looking at the bench in the background, and I'm just kind of matching the angle of the shadow. And then also, just delete the plane real quick, I'm also checking the sun real quick, so it kind of fits the real sun, so it seems good. Now I'm going to bump up the strength to 10, and now it pretty much already looks pretty good. You could use a black body node in the color, but white usually looks pretty good, so it's just personal preference. So now we're going to create a plane. And there's one thing I'm going to show you, because in the one backplate video, I think one guy mentioned why I don't use a shadow catcher. There's actually a few reasons I don't use a shadow catcher. So first, shadow catcher I think doesn't look as good in Photoshop, but next to that, there's a few issues. So when I make the car black, you see the white plane reflects in the car. So if you turn off glossy, it doesn't reflect anymore. But the diffuse is still reflecting. So if you would have a red plane, or in this case a white plane, it's gonna reflect red into the diffuse basically. So you don't want that. So ideally the plane would have to have the color of the road. And that's also what I usually do. So that's also what I did in the last video. So if I turn off diffuse, The main issue is under the tire. It's a bit hard to see here, but there's like a halo, like a glow, kind of like a Fresnel glow under the tire. So the car won't sit on the road very well. It's just gonna kind of look a bit fake. So that's why I don't like to use shadow catchers. I don't really see a benefit using them. So we're just gonna delete it. So we're just gonna create, first make the car white again, or any color, it doesn't really matter. Gonna create a camera. Now we're gonna import our backplate, any backplate really. I just chose this one because I thought it looked cool. So next we're gonna set the focal length. I googled the focal length of an iPhone, telelens. So my iPhone has 3 lenses, so you have to Google the right lens. So it's 52 millimeters. So now we're just gonna create a plane that kind of looks like the road, so I can match up the perspective, just like in my other video. I just do this by hand. Of course, you could use tools for this, but I don't know, it's so quickly matched up. I don't tend to use tools. Usually looks good just by doing it by hand real quick. So once matched up, doesn't have to be millimeter perfect, just pretty much the same. So what I like to do is let the car drive along the road once, just to see that it looks correct, and it looks good to me. So it looks like we hit the perspective. Next, we're gonna basically block out the sidewalk so the shadow falls correctly, because otherwise the shadow just falls flat over everything, even though the surface isn't flat. So I'm just gonna remodel this curb real quick, just super basic. And I'm just gonna add a bevel. I don't even think this bevel was necessary, but I'm just adding a little bevel, making some smooth shading, and just add an edge split. It doesn't look great, but it's good enough since we're just going to project the image onto it. So then we're just going to hop into the camera. I'm going to move the whole thing a little bit down so it really matches the curb. I don't know why I modeled it this way. You should have just, yeah, you know what I mean. So now I have to move the whole car and stuff. You could have modeled it the opposite around, but it doesn't really matter. So in this case, it also works. Now we're going to render. Already looks pretty good. The sidewalk is clipping away the shadow, so very nice. So next we're going to do is projecting the image onto the road, but we have to subdivide it first, otherwise the UVs won't be very clean. So I'm just going to add some cuts and then just subdivide it a few times. Doesn't really matter how many times, just a good amount of times. Then go back into the camera, U for the UVs, and then we're going to project from view. So basically we're going to stick the image onto the road like a sticker. But before you see something, of course, you need a new material, a new shader. I just use diffuse. It's just basic and simple, and it does the job. I don't need reflections or any fancy stuff here. So we're going to add our image. So, and it fits, as you can see. So next, I'm going to match the color a little bit. So we're just going to add a RGB curve in between. I'm just going to make it a little bit darker because it's catching so much sun, it's starting to bright up. So I'm just going to kind of match up the color. And now you see the car is really sitting on the road because it's taking all the color from the surface. So it's like really, it's sitting on an actual road, not like with a shadow catcher and stuff where it's kind of faked. So here it's more realistic, and you see it in the render. I think it just looks better this way. So next, of course, you have to set your resolution so it fits the real image. Mine almost fit because on standard I have 4000 by 3000, so it's almost the iPhone resolution. So we're just gonna do the actual resolution. It's almost the same, so you see there's barely a difference. So now it fits. And next, we're gonna render. So I'm just gonna do some basic render settings, nothing fancy. I'm using a denoiser. So once it's rendered, we're gonna also render out a mask. So I'm not gonna render out a classic mask. So basically what I'm gonna do is just hide the road plane that we created and don't render it. And then we're gonna render again. Just render the car with Control B so it goes quicker. Now we just got a transparent background car, basically. So it's just a quick, cheap way of creating a mask. So now we're just going to import it to Photoshop or any program. You can use GIMP. I'm not going to use any crazy features here, so you can really use any software. You could actually do it in Blender probably as well in the compositor. I'm just using Photoshop in this scenario because it's quicker for me. So you see we got the car single on its own. So we're just gonna control click the car so we get the selection of the car. We're gonna create a mask on our actual render, so with the road. So now you see again we only have the car, and now we're gonna copy and paste the car, and now we're gonna brush in the shadow and stuff that we rendered under the car and just do it so it like matches up with the background until it looks good. And that's pretty much it. So that was very easy. As you can see, it looks pretty realistic, even though we didn't use a high dynamic range image. So I'm always very impressed by how well Street View images perform. But also you need to note is that this really works well on a sunny day. So, and also a cloudy day. But if you would have like a room with a lot of light sources and a lot of shadows, of course you can't, or you could, but it wouldn't make sense to take a Street View image because there's too many light sources. So this works really well if you have one light source like the sun or no light sources like clouds. That's when this technique works best. So now I'm just going to jump into Lightroom real quick. I'm just going to speed through this. I'm just doing, I don't even know if it's that good what I made, but I'm just doing a random color grade. So it just looks a bit more fancy and not just straight out of the camera. But it's just fully personal preference. You can color grade the way you want. You also don't have to color grade. It doesn't really matter. This is just like an extra step I like to do. So once you're finished and happy, so I'm just cropping it like this. Yeah, now that's the final image. So I thought that was pretty cool because this video wasn't all too long and we only used the mobile device and created a full environment from scratch pretty much and rendered a realistic car using only our phone in Blender, what I think is pretty cool. So that's the point of the video. But of course, if you want to take real HDRs, I'm not going to make a full tutorial about this, or I could in the future. But for this video, I thought I'll just scratch the surface how you would usually take a HDR image. So there's multiple ways you could do this. You can use like a robot. I don't have one. So what you could also use is a nodal head. And basically what it does, so when you rotate the camera, I don't have one here. If you rotate the camera, the lens like moves away, you know? So the center point of the camera moves. So what you want to achieve is that the camera rotates around the lens point, basically, if that makes sense. So that's why you need this rig, so the software can detect the rotation better. So you don't get parallax effects in the background, and it just rotates around the basically the center, or the nodal point it's called, but the center of the lens, kind of. So what I'm doing here is taking HDR images. So HDR in this case is the real HDR. I'm taking 5 images in this case. You can take more, you could even take less, but I like to take 5 images. So I go 4 times around, and then I take one shot from the top. And I'm using a 8mm fisheye lens here. You can use whatever you want, but with this you don't need very many photos. So it's 5 photos in total, but HDR, so 5 by 5. Yeah, and then we're just gonna hop into PT GUI. That's what I like to use. I'm definitely not making a tutorial about this right now, but basically you just import the photos. And once they're imported, you align the images. Don't forget to select true HDR. So it's a real high dynamic range image you can use in 3D. And then you're just going to export the HDR. So don't just export the JPEG, also export the HDR. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something. I thought this was a pretty cool technique, especially if you're like on holidays and stuff and you find a cool location. You can just take a quick HDR, some backplates, and when you're home you can like render in stuff, cars or whatever. So that's what I like to do, because I even have like the full rig and equipment, but I of course don't have it with me all the time. So yeah, you can just create your own HDRs now. Another thing, so I like to take HDRs, as you can see. So I took a few automotive HDRs, so I'm posting a link down below, so you can download 5 free real HDRs if you want and just play around with them. So yeah, that's it for today. Have fun and take a lot of HDRs and backplates and renderings, and feel free to maybe even send them to me, because I actually also thought about if people start sending me their work, maybe I can make a video where I just showcase all your works. I don't know if that's interesting to anybody. So if you want to see your works in one full video, maybe just send all your renderings to me, and maybe I'll just make like a compilation video, I guess, and maybe, I don't know, review them. I don't know yet. Let's see. So yeah, that's it. Goodbye.